Why is it that we don't believe?
How are you doing? How are you doing, everybody? I am Wimbo77.
And I am Naturally Lily.
And we are in the studio tonight it was a relatively good day, I think, Naturally Lily, would you say?
It was very productive.
At least it wasn't raining as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, at least it wasn't raining.
Mind you, we do need the potatoes, and my potatoes are doing very, very well. That's the only vegetable that's doing well.
I didn't realise that they just decide they want to grow on their own.
What, the potatoes?
Yeah.
Oh, what, when you buy them from the shop and they start springing roots?
No, so my potatoes from last year that I have not replanted, that were in the pot,
Yeah.
have just resprung up again.
Did you take them out the pot?
No, not all of them.
You've probably got some nice big potatoes
Yeah.
under there. You've actually got to dig the potatoes. They don't pick themselves, Lily.
No, I know this. I know this. But I think last year's crop, yeah.
You didn't think about it?
No.
Oh, you'll have some love. Because even when I was replanting, because I have some tyres in the garden.
Yeah.
So I normally grow my potatoes in pots because they are parasitic. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but they spread.
Go everywhere, yeah.
Right. So for you to have it in a controlled kind of environment, I generally do them in pots so that they maintain in one spot. Mm-hmm. And then you can empty the pot out, and then you can get all the nice big clean potatoes, and then you can replant the little tiny ones because they'll come up the next year.
Yeah.
So that's generally what you do with the potatoes. But nothing else seems to be growing. My corn's gone because I put it outside and it's got saturated by the rain and all sorts. And I've been trying this new system called hydroponics.
Yeah.
You've seen me.
I have seen you plugging away there.
I have. Mum, her ones, I've gone around and planted some round at Mum's. They are doing amazingly. Mum is on it. She's got some cucumbers growing inside, beautiful people, without soil. It's a very, very good system and something that we should all adopt because we talk about being self-sufficient. Mm-hmm. And that is one way. And we can have an inside garden as well, an indoor garden.
And you're saying you can grow the vegetables all year round with this hydroponics
all year
method.
round. And what they've done in some countries, I mean, when you really go deep into it, because there are hydroponic farms and that as well. There's one shop I saw
Netherlands,
on Green Lanes.
They have one, don't they?
Yeah, I think, they have them inside.
Yeah, they grow them inside.
It is inside farming because you don't want to have the tanks outside to be contaminated by the rainwater, which disturbs all of the nutrients and everything in the bottom. So you have your little tanks inside full of water and solutions and everything that will help the plant to grow, as well as it being in the right light. And it is a little bit scientific, but I love a challenge.
A bit too scientific for
me. A bit scientific for you. But
yeah, just about planting plants outside. Try and plant them inside.
Yeah. But it's actually a really, really good system. And it's something worth looking into as well.
Definitely, yeah.
So, and I never knew about it. And guess where I learnt about it?
TikTok.
TikTok goes the clock.
Oh,
that's
gotta
right.
love TikTok.
I learned it on TikTok. Then I went over to YouTube to find some more videos, and there's lots there. So check it out. Hydroponics, beautiful people, because we don't know where we're going to be.
Yeah.
You're right.
I can, yeah.
You sure?
I can hear something playing in the background.
Is that you? All right. Don't worry. I don't think it's me playing it in the background, but we'll see.
And I need to apologise now.
Why?
For the sniffling that will be happening throughout the show. It's allergies, guys. I have allergies. I apologise.
And the rustling of the tissue.
Thank
you, please. Leave it. Okay. So moving on. Our question for the day is that a female approaches you, okay, to have a play date with her child. What do you do if you're a married man? All right, so a female approaches you to have a play date with her child. What do you do if you're a married man? And the reason why it sounds like a really bizarre question, it does sound quite bizarre, right? Because you think play date, whatever. But we're going to see why we're asking it the question like this.
Yes, it was a listener that sent in this conundrum and we want to look into it. We want you guys' opinion on what do you think about this
Yes.
situation.
Absolutely. So we're going to shout out first on Mark Philogene, as well as DJ Slim, for such a fabulous show yesterday. You can catch Mark Philogene on a Monday and a Sunday, as well as DJ Slim on a Monday and a Thursday. Sweet music, guys. Totally amazing stuff. And not forgetting that following me tonight will be DJ Laro from 8 o'clock. So the National Day is National... Now, this is quite a topic that's come up of late.
Yeah.
And it's quite bizarre that this topic will be there sort
as
of
a national day.
Right, as a national day. And what is the National Day, Lee?
Today is National Missing Children's Day. It's really sad. I'm sorry. I find this quite heart-wrenching, being a mother of two. But it says National Missing Children's Day is observed on May 25th each year. And it shines a spotlight on child safety. The observance also honours the professionals dedicated to protecting children around the country.
It says most children go missing when they're coming home. Or it says most children who go missing do come home. Whether they've wandered off or there's a misunderstanding, many do find their way back to their families. According to the Polyclass Foundation, 99.8% come home of those who are abducted as well. And it says 9% are kidnapped by family. And it's funny because there was a princess that I read of, I think it was only yesterday, what was her name, Princess in Dubai.
Okay.
And the dad kidnapped her.
Yeah.
The dad kept her and tried to kept her hostage in the villa prison, as she called it. So she was kidnapped by her father. But it says only a small fraction are stranger abductions. But the fact remains, if it happens to any child, it happens to too many.
Yeah.
Too many children.
And I would say this is even more prevalent at the moment, where we know, even though it's not making news, it's making Instagram and TikTok and Twitter news, that there are quite a few children at the moment that are going missing. One of which two of which actually got home this week, or within the last 10 days. And one was abducted in Enfield. Yeah. And we know, people have observed who is driving around in a white van taking these children. It's very scary how close to home it is, that you know this is happening. Obviously, all parents are on high alert, because I went to take my two home so they can be get ready for bed and whatever before the show. And a white van drove past me with two men in it that looked like the two men in the picture. And I was just like,
that's scary.
They can't be in this area. But you know, it's one of those things where your anxiety is on high alert.
You'll be vigilant.
If you want a new car, the new car you want, you see it all the time, isn't it? So when you know something is around, or if you're aware of something, you tend to be more... That's what you tend to see a lot of.
Vigilant. You're just around and you're aware and you are looking for signs, because your children are safe with you. You know that you're driving them home. Yeah. So they're going to reach their destination. Yeah. However, I see a lot of children walking home on their own. And it's parents are out working.
It's unavoidable sometimes. Like, I feel it for the parent, the 1 parent, 2 parent households where literally the school is at the top of the road. A lot can happen between door 1 and door 50. Do you know what I mean? Like, someone says, oh yeah, your mum said I've got to come and pick you up, and as well as you might know your parents or may not know your parents, are they going to send their friends to come and get you? You know, how trained are our children to know when to not accept a lift from someone, and how trained are our children in defending themselves? Because I do remember Jayla's teacher saying they had a stranger danger session where they had, I think it was a policeman, go in and teach children what they should do if a stranger tries to take them or whatever. Oh, she said, oh, Jayla knew exactly what to do. And I'm like, it's because I tell her, like, even if you're walking next to me, you know there are people, I know you know of someone that the child tried to get taken from the mum's hand.
Yeah.
And this was very close to home by someone you wouldn't even expect. We do have expectations, unfortunately. Someone you wouldn't expect to be that kind of person.
And they tried to walk off with the child.
And they tried to walk off with the child. So does your child know how to respond? Do
Yeah.
you know how to respond in that instance? You know,
What would you do?
Go for the eyes.
I think I saw also it was a father, he posted, and the young daughter was on social media and she started a dialogue with someone.
Yeah.
It turns out that the guy was a lot older than what she was, an African guy. Thought she was 14, and they had arranged to meet
up.
They'd arranged to meet. The dad was pretending to be her, and he went into this. He would have killed the man, but they called the police and so on and so forth, and the situation was obviously dissolved. But this is going on a daily. So when we're going back to and the funny thing is, we spoke about this on a show. Maybe it was last week or a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And today is National Missing Children's Day. And the funny thing is, someone also Richard sent me in a picture of, there's 6 missing children here. So we have Javon Andrew Perry. I think that he was returned. However, we have Renee Good, Garrett, Darnell O'Brien, Kennedy Senga, Corey James, and Rashan Williams. None of these children have been found.
There are 5 boys there.
Yeah, 5 boys.
5 boys, 1 girl. Well, one of the young men, Javon Andrew Perry, has been.
I think he's been found.
Hopefully safely home.
But I think that one they found a child also in the river, sadly. Oh. And it's disheartening to think. I'm looking at these young, beautiful faces, and they are all children of colour as well.
Yeah,
and they're missing. We're looking at it being National Missing Children's Day, and when it says there 9% of children are kidnapped by a family or someone that they know.
Yeah.
A small fraction it is stranger abductions, but the fact remains it's happening to any child. It happens and it's too many. And it says, while the observance does honour those who have gone above and beyond to protect children, it also offers resources to continue protecting them further. So here are some ways that we can maintain. And they're talking about this in a sense of missing children that have been abducted by parents. So we're not we've looked at stranger abductions. And I guess in the case of those young children that we just mentioned,
they may be stranger abductions.
It may be stranger abductions. So it says maintain custody documents. So if it's, say, a family situation, that you've got to maintain the custody documents, that's if you have them. Because a lot of people, they live estranged and possibly don't have documents.
But it's something as simple as a birth certificate. Just because you're named as a father on the birth certificate, if you are not married, you do not have custody of that child, unfortunately. So you have to make sure, because sometimes the case is that the father has been given rights, but the mum has taken the child on her weekend that she's supposed to have, and not returned the child. So that's the sad equivalent of a child abduction, because the mum is not supposed, that child is not supposed to be in the mother's custody. It's supposed to be in the dad's custody. But because the father may not be married to the mother, you have to make sure you have those documents that state, no, this is my child, they're supposed to be with me full time, they only visit mum on weekends and holidays. So I think that's very important.
I think the next point is to keep a recent photo of our children, so have recent photos handy, so that we can obviously see a not real time but true reflection of them as they are now. Also keep medical and dental records up to date. So we spoke about that, taking the youngsters to the dentist the other day, didn't we? And also making online safety, because we just spoke of that young girl. The father, thankfully, he was aware, and so what he did was he was able to speak in the second person, as if he was a young girl, and that young black guy, he was actually a traffic warden, African traffic warden.
That's terrible.
That he was detained by the police.
Yeah.
And then if you'd have seen the conversation, it was just, so what are your guidelines around things such as social media?
Do you know what as well? I feel like we should not expect our children to have, we shouldn't expect our children to be social media savvy, because adults are naive.
Yeah.
Adults go on dating apps, they go on social media, meet people online, and we'll go and meet random strangers. So we can, if we do that, as I say we, I'm not talking about myself, but I'm saying if adults do that, how can you expect your 13, 14, 15-year-old child to not do the same? So, and you, as a parent, it's so challenging to say you should know who your children are talking to, because that's one of the downsides of social media. Unless your child is extremely open with you and you have all their logins and all their passwords and they don't mind, because that's what,
and they shouldn't mind.
Don't mind.
They really shouldn't mind.
Who are you going to know who they're talking
to? Be hiding anything, really.
But that is also that down to us as the parent. How easy do we make the lines of communication? How easy is it for them to be open with us?
But also having things such as blockers, having it child friendly. And why would you want your underage child, 16 or whatever, on social media? And there are sadly, we've mentioned TikTok, and as good as it is for business and as good as it is for certain things, it is actually a lot of these forums, paedophiles do access these networks. So as parents, I mean, Kenny's always looking over my shoulder, seeing what I'm doing on socials. I get really quiet. What you doing, because
it's a protective thing, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's privacy, personal.
Yeah,
but your kids, your youngsters.
But it shouldn't be. That's what I'm saying.
It shouldn't be privacy.
It shouldn't be privacy and
under
personal.
16s.
No, even with adults. I'm sorry, because I feel like I would want my husband to know if something's happened to you. Oh, I know she was speaking to that person on social media. I know she was speaking to that person. It shouldn't be so private that your family member doesn't know where you are, what's happened, what the situation is. Do you know what I mean? So in some instances, there is a bit of, I don't like you looking over my shoulder at who I'm talking to. But in other instances, it is
necessary.
Yeah. If I God forbid, went missing, would you know who the last 5 people it was that I spoke to?
And would they be able to get into your phone? Give me your password markers. Give me your password.
What's the password markers? Yeah.
So definitely in that sense, we know each other's passwords.
Yeah.
Nothing to hide in that sense. But we're talking in the sense of our youngsters, and making, if they are going to go online,
I don't think they should have
to make it. Fair. What's that?
I don't think youngsters should have social media. I think it should be shared. If you want to TikTok, I know how addictive TikTok can be. It's surpassed Instagram, but I know how addictive these things can be and how they can entrap you in your time. But if your child wants a TikTok, it should be a shared one.
Okay, fair enough.
There are many families that use TikTok as a family TikTok.
Yeah. So another point is complete background checks on the caregivers and check references.
Yes.
So if you have even a babysitter coming in to look after your children, you need to know that they are who they say they are. Okay, because I'm not going to go into, again, like I said, I'm writing a self-help book, and in my childhood, the 70s, no one was vetted.
Yeah.
Nobody was vetted, and issues can arise. But thankfully it wasn't abduction, but other things can happen. So things such as complete, enhanced DBS situation going on here. To make sure that whoever's looking after the youngsters, your youngsters, that it's fine to leave them with your children.
I think that could be a bit double-edged sworded though, because some people entrust their children with family members, And I'm thinking of cases like Victoria Colombier, who was with a family member.
Hey.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
as much as and one of the points of this Natural Missing Children's Day was that it is by family members that they do get taken. So I would just reinforce the fact that you need to have 100% trust in that person, that they don't have the access to go anywhere with their child, they don't have the intent to go anywhere with your child. Their relationship with you is so kosher that you could just be like, oh, they're not picking up the phone, oh, maybe they're doing this. Like, it's not something that you would even you
wouldn't worry about
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even with family, I'm very particular with who I will leave them with. Go and spend the day, fine. Sleepovers and all that kind of jazz, I get a bit... No. It's just how you know how you are as a parent. And some people might look at that as you being funny, but what would you prefer? Your family members looking at you as being funny, or your child not being protected?
And it's down to you as a parent anyway, regardless of whoever says, oh yeah, they're fine. It's down to you as a parent to make the last decision in that sense. The next point is never leave young children unattended in strollers and car seats.
Oh, yeah.
Never leave young children unattended in strollers and car seats.
Yeah.
And I can see a point in that, because it's quick. You're doing shopping, going for the racks, and the child's in the stroller. Don't have the stroller behind you, always have it in front of you.
In front, yeah.
I guess. Don't have the children walking behind you, always have them in front of you.
Yes.
In fact, I never used to like them reins. You know, the little reins on the children?
Yeah.
Have reins on the children, on the arms, so if they're walking. You can see them.
People used to laugh at me. You got a bag with a ring. Listen, I know where my child is from 3 feet in front of me. I know where she is 3 feet in behind. I can't feel no tug. Where are you?
Yeah.
I know people think, oh yeah, but a hand is better than a rein. It is, but children like to let go of your hand and run away.
Yeah, they do.
But you've got that rucksack strapped to them with that lead.
Yeah.
You might laugh.
They like to hide. When you go shopping, they like to hide under things and whatnot.
Oh, it happened to my friend.
Yeah, oh, bless.
In Morrison. And bless her, she was losing her mind. Can't find my son. Where has he gone? This was many, many years ago. Can't find my son. Where's he gone? And got the security involved. It was, went
escalated
quite far. And the young man, that is very grown and intelligent and amazing now, was hiding underneath the fruit and veg section. Boo, mummy!
Oh, and your heart's in your mouth.
Oh, man.
Your heart's in your mouth. And can you imagine, when we look at those young children that we mentioned just then, what their parents are going through?
Yes.
So it says, whenever, this is quite an interesting fact, Lily, that whenever possible, don't dress children in clothing with their names on it.
No. Yeah, I've heard that many times.
Wow.
Don't take pictures of them on your social media with them in their school uniform.
You see so much of that. Oh, my Johnny started
first day of school
today.
Yeah.
Oh, Johnny.
And school uniform pasted all over for people to go and Google it and know, okay, her name is Jennifer Lawrence and I know where she goes to school. Oh, yeah, she's my niece.
Yes.
I've come to pick her up from school. Oh, and the password is? Because I know the Stuart school don't use passwords. Because there have been occasions when I've sent certain people to pick up my children and they have not asked them for a password. So please, people, do not take pictures of your children in their uniforms.
And also teach them their address and phone number as young as possible. So does the little ones, do they know their address and their phone number?
Phone number, no. Address, they know they live in London.
See, teach them their address and phone number as young as possible, because I know that young boy in Enfield, although he escaped, that they did drug him.
Yes, they did.
They did drug him.
They did.
And I mean, we've spent a lot of time here on the National Day because this is something that is so, it's like a wound that's open, that's so relevant and prevalent at this particular time. That it's something that we need to speak about. For National Missing Children's Day, and how crazy that it is today, this National Missing Children's Day. So #Missing Children's Day. It says other ways to get involved include recognising someone dedicated to protecting children and to bringing missing children home, attend a ceremony honouring law enforcement and private citizens alike. You can also volunteer in your community, share a safety presentation, and visit www.ojdp.gov. Now, I have been sent, actually, and I'll have to find it during the break, but there is something coming up that is a Zoom meeting that's going to be covering our youngsters, and I've got to find it. It's a Zoom meeting coming up very, very soon about our missing children and what we can do about it. So during the break, I'll find that. Come and join us in the chat room. I'll post the information there, or we will post the information there, and you can tap into that as well, because very, very important.
And I just want to call out the names of those young ones that we have here and what number you can call. So if you have seen or you are aware of whether these current children are, the number to call or text is 116000. That's 116000. And currently we have Javon Andrew Perry, we have Renee Good Garrett, Darnell O'Brien, Kennedy Senga, Corey James, and Rashawn Williams. So that number again, 116000. If they've run away and they're safe, that is still a number that you need to call, because the parents need to know where they are.
Absolutely. And the sad thing is, that's only 6 that we've highlighted.
Yeah, and there are many more.
There are quite a number more of these youngsters, and we really would love to see that they are returned home safely. So, beautiful people, we'll see y'all in 5. Oh yeah. Sounds of Heatwave. Is that still playing there?
Oh, my bad, sorry.
Yes, Johnny Wilder. That was a great band, you know, Heatwave. Do you know they used to come and hang out at my house? With my mum. I'm serious.
Really?
Yeah.
What was that like?
They were just like Uncle Johnny, Auntie, his wife was Roslyn. Yeah.
Wow.
So we were very young at the time, very young. But I think Mum, they knew a lot of musicians and all those kinds of guys.
Well, that would make sense given the fact that Granddad was in the Greyhounds.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
most probably would have been one.
But I think that Mum knew them kind of outright. I don't know if she met them through like Dad's friends.
Okay.
But yeah, and they came. Do you remember? Oh well, you wouldn't remember because you weren't existing right now. You're probably there, you know. But I think it was in 1977 they had the Silver Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth.
Okay.
So they came to our area, and they done a big show, and it was
wow.
great. Yeah, people still remember it to
Amazing.
this day. They still remember it to this day. So
Amazing.
yeah, Mum knew a lot of people. So in talking about that, we were just talking on National Missing Children's Day, and really just being aware that there are a lot of missing children out there. Also shouting out DJ George Flavors. You can catch DJ George on a Saturday with the reggae with Flavors, and Sunday the Variety of Spice show. And we're shouting out to Laro as well. You can catch Laro tonight from 8 p.m, but you can also catch Laro on a Friday and a Sunday as well. So today in history, naturally, Lily,
Yeah.
there's a lady, and her name was Hazel Scott. I've never heard of Hazel Scott before, but she was also known as the first African-American woman to have her own television show, and was born in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh.
But I love this quote that she spoke about, and it says there, "I've always known I was gifted, which is not the easiest thing in the world for a person to know, because you're not responsible for your gift, only for what you do with it."
Oh, that is so true.
Right?
That is so
What
very
we
true.
do with our gifts is, we're not responsible for it because God's given it to us.
Yeah.
But what do we do with it?
Do you know what's funny? Oh, it's not funny. I found, like I was saying this to you earlier, about the fact that we're raised to obviously be very humble and not really big ourselves up that much and all this kind of stuff. But when you are gifted, how do you keep that to yourself without bigging yourself up. You have to.
But I think some people never use their gifts.
Yeah.
Some people are so afraid to use their gifts that they just choose to do something else.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of tapping into our genius, because regardless of what we choose to be, some women who've always wanted to be mother, for instance, that's a gift. That's what she's always wanted to do, and she's fulfilling that. Yeah. It's not anything out of the... I mean, Michael Jackson, he was gifted. Oh, my man Prince, he was so gifted. And they went out and done other things with the gifts that they had. Yeah. But just because someone's a superstar out there to the world doesn't mean that they're not a superstar to that child that's been loved and nurtured by a mother or a father, or some young boy that's gone on and wanted to be a pilot or something, that their gifts have not been nurtured. And I think that was the point that she was making.
I like the sentence, though, you're not responsible for your gift. You're only responsible for what you do with it. You don't own the fact that you have had this gift bestowed upon you, but what you do with it is your responsibility. Absolutely. Just like if you choose to be a mother, because that is your gift, that is what you do with that responsibility. That's a really nice quote, actually.
It's lovely, isn't it? So that's a nice quote from, and her name was Hazel Scott, pianist, and she's obviously another kind of woman in her right, the first African American woman to own her own television show. Wow. So that was amazing back then, wasn't it? I didn't get the dates on that, but I'll find out. But who we were highlighting is Bill Bojangles. Or Bill Bojangles Robinson. He was born in 1878. Does anyone out there know who Bill Bojangles Robinson was? Beautiful people. He was born on May the 25th.
Oh, see here, Google's listening to our conversation, guys. She wants to get involved.
Google wants to get involved in our conversation. And please remember that you can call in 07895 134 713 to join in on the conversation. And the question, let's go back to the question, shall we, Lily? Just before we go into Bill Bojangles, it's a female or a male approaches you to have a play date with their child. What do you do if you're a married man or woman? So it could be a man that's asked you to go on a play date with a child, or a woman that's asked you to go on a play date with her child, and you're the opposite sex, and you're either with a partner or married. What do you do in that situation? And that was sent in to us by one of our listeners, Ray Chanel, if you're listening. Thank you for the question. And she just asked us that she wanted us to tackle that question. We'll look at that a little bit later in the second half of the show. And the time is just going rapidly.
Goodness gracious.
25th of May, end of the month.
The year is going rapidly, let's be fair.
What's going on, beautiful people?
The year is going rapidly.
What is going on?
Not much is happening, but the year is going rapidly.
Well, there's a lot happening.
Behind the scenes.
In the back office. That's right. The pot is on the back burner. Sometimes it takes food a long time to cook,
Yeah, them 4-hour oxtail.
Right, there you go. See? But when it's ready, it's ready.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bill Bojangles Robinson, he was a tap dancer. You right there, Lily?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
He's a legendary American tap dancer and entertainer who began his career in vaudeville. But in the 1920s, he found his way to Broadway and a huge success in the 1930s. It says his star value grew on the silver screen. And you'll find Bill Bojangles, I mean, does he mean anything to you, this Bill Bojangles?
The word Bojangles does, but not for the reason that it is in his name, most probably.
Okay. Well, Bill Bojangles, do you remember Shirley Temple?
Yeah.
He was in a lot of her films.
Okay.
A lot of her films. And he was a millionaire. He was a millionaire through all of his filming and all that stuff.
He wasn't the guy that played the black man in most of those films that got stereotyped.
A lot of them got stereotyped, Lily. Let's look at it in the,
because I can only see one black guy. I don't know if it's in a Shirley Temple movie though. One black guy, and he's in a field and he's being manhandled because they said that, I can't even remember, but I'm seeing this scene in my head, and wondering if this is Bill
Was that in the
Bojangles.
1930s? He was a dancer. He was a dancer. So you'd see him tap dancing a lot with Shirley Temple.
I think it may be the same person.
Yeah. But they were, a lot of actors in that day were stereotyped.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
You know, the slave and the maid and the not doing kind of much in society kind of person.
Yeah.
When we are the kind of the backbone to a degree, because without these people, without the cotton pickers, no one would have been rich.
This
without
is true.
The people making the rum, no one would have been rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no one looks at that. A lot of people just look at the end product and not the process. And the process is very, very important.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so this Mr. Bill Bojangles, it's his Earth Strong today. And I mean, we have a lot of information here. The sad thing is he died penniless. Oh. I know, he did die penniless, but he was on the silver screen. And that was in the 1930s. Likewise with Shirley Temple. Her parents squandered a lot of her money too.
But it says he wasn't raised by his parents, so no one actually knows much of his early life, and most of it is known through legend, which is kind of what he's made up himself. So the origin of his existence and how he got into the care of his grandparents and all that kind of stuff, no one actually knows the true origin of it. He claims that at birth he was christened as Luther, a name that he didn't like, and he suggested to his younger brother Bill that they exchange names. Bill objected.
Okay,
I'm not giving you my name. Luther applied his fits and the exchange was made. Oh, sorry. Luther applied his fists and the exchange was made. So he was a bit of a rough and tough when he was younger. And the new Luther later adopted the name Percy and became a well-known drummer. So his brother was a well-known drummer named
Percy
Luther Bojangles.
Oh, and you're right. Yes, Joy McKay. It is Mr. Bojangles' dance. Could you send us in a video of Mr. Bojangles' dance, please? Because no, he done a lot of tap dancing.
Okay.
Yeah, he done a lot, and tap dancing in the sand. You know, that nice. You know, the sand.
I wonder if he was the inspiration for Michael Jackson's tap, because a lot of people don't know Michael Jackson was quite fluent in tap dance. So I wonder if he was the inspiration.
More than likely, because he used to watch a lot of the silver screen black and whites, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
So who knows? But he did make a big impact. He was on the silver screen, had a lot of success in his life, and went on to loads of films here. The Little Colonel, The Littlest Rebel, Rebecca of Sunnybrook, a lot of films. He starred in a lot of films, and he did make a mark, like to the, let's say, in about 3 million mark. And back in the day, 3 million back in the day was a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah, he was getting like 3,500 a week. That's
in the 1930s. Remember, they're just coming out of slavery as well.
How do you die penniless if that's what you're earning?
I know. It's
such a shame, isn't it?
Yeah. And I wonder if he had children as well. If he went on to... He done a lot. Beautiful people. We don't really have a lot of time to go into him, but we're just going to commemorate that it is his birthday today, is Earth Strong. And thinking of all these wonderful ancestors that have gone before us that were able to break the barriers of being held back, you know, because it's stated there as well that he did suffer a lot of racist abuse.
Yeah.
He suffered a lot. However, that never stopped him. That never stopped him from being as great as he was. Yeah. So Mr. Bill Bojangles, and I'd love to... Well, I've seen the Bojangles dance, because he used to sort of dance in the sand, and then I can't say it. I'm trying to do it in the studio here, sitting down. It's really... You can't
it's
do
not
it.
It's not possible. It's not possible.
All right, so the word of the day, Lily. When I looked at this, I laughed, because I thought of other words when I heard it.
Let's not put the word into people's minds, okay? Because the word of the day is and I'm going to look at it before I say it out loud, because I might say something else. Bumbershoot.
Bumbershoot. Has anyone heard of that word, bumbershoot? It says here, definition, umbrella.
It's an umbrella? No way. This is ridiculous.
It's an umbrella.
This is ridiculous.
It's just another name for an umbrella. So it says umbrellas have plenty of names.
Bumbershoot.
In Britain, we know it as a brolly. Oh, where's my brolly? It's in the bottom of my bag. You know, it's a popular alternative. But bumbershoot.
I'm going to start calling it that.
I wonder, where's your bumbershoot? We got to try. We needed a bumbershoot this week.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of rain.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Right, so there you go, guys. New word for your umbrella. And it says Charles Dickens' novel Martin Chuzzlewit has inspired some English speakers to dub oversized version Gamps. Bumbershoot is predominantly American nickname for an umbrella, and one that has been recorded as a whimsical, slight irrelevant handle for umbrellas since, it's a handle for an umbrella since the late 1800s. So it's slang.
It's always the Americans, though. Like, even what they call a fanny pack, the bum bag.
Okay.
It's a bum bag.
And that's what they call it.
Yeah, because that in America means bum.
What?
The first word.
Okay.
After the way you just looked at me, I don't want to
Well, they
I don't want to repeat. But
that's
that's
a
what it
name.
is.
That's someone's name.
No, it's not someone's name. It
There
should never
was
be
lots of
anyone's.
women's names called Fanny.
I know, but it's not acceptable.
But with how did it go from being someone's name or being something else to being something else?
Because we nastied it up. But that's what I'm saying. American words.
Yeah.
That is an American word for a bum bag.
Wow. It says, but it appears that the bumber is a modification of the umber. Bumber, umbrella, bumberella.
So someone couldn't say it properly, basically.
Maybe.
Mummy,
Yeah.
where's my bumbershoot?
There you go. So, beautiful people. We did need a bumbershoot this week
did.
because it has been raining all week. And so there's another word to add to the vocabulary, bumbershoot. If you can, put it into the what's it called? The chat box. That would be great in a sentence as we're speaking on a bit later on. And yes, Joy, that's right. Pass my bumbershoot. That's right. But you've got loads of those, Mum. You have lots of bumbershoots, okay?
I'm sorry, I can't deal.
You can't deal. Why can't you deal naturally, Lily?
It's just wrong. It's just
Why
wrong.
is it wrong? It is what it is, right? It's words. And words have so much meaning. Words are amazing.
Yeah,
words
they
can be
are.
degrading. They can be uplifting. They can bring you down. They can lift you up. It's just how we use them.
Yeah, it's very true.
It? So,
Very true.
beautiful people, the question we're asking today, we'll go back to that question. And it is, if a female approaches you to have a play date with her child or vice versa, what do you do if you're a married person or if you're in a relationship? What do you do? All right, we'll see y'all in 5.
Stay there. We'll be back after these.
Are you having an event and looking for entertainment for your event? For all ages, from bouncy castles, selfie mirrors, rodeo boards, call Boss Leisure now on 07 833 958 528. That's 07 833 958 528. We provide entertainment for weddings, children's parties and corporate events. Check out our website www.bossleisure.co.uk. Boss Leisure, we've got you covered anywhere in the UK. Boss Leisure, the name you can trust for your event.
This is a very important health message. My name is Errol McKellar, MBE. I am a prostate cancer survivor and founder of the charity, the Errol McKellar Foundation. Do you know that over 47,000 men a year are diagnosed with prostate cancer? Do you also know that over 11,000 men also die of prostate cancer? That means that one man will die every 45 minutes. Do you also know that 1 in 8 European men will die of prostate cancer? But more frighteningly, that 1 in 4 Afro-Caribbean men will die of prostate cancer. But the truth is, prostate cancer doesn't care about your color. Prostate cancer doesn't care about your wealth. Prostate cancer doesn't care about you. What prostate cancer will do, if you ignore it, it will kill you. At the Errol McKellar Foundation, our aims and mission is to talk with as many men and their partners as possible to ensure they are fully aware of the dangers posed by prostate cancer, recognizing potential symptoms and know about the available tests and information. We want to stop men from dying through ignorance and fear. For more details, please visit www.theerrolmckellarfoundation.com or email temf2018@gmail.com. Please remember that health is your wealth.
Visit zandoli.co.uk for this summer's hottest street fashion straight to your door. Shop tracksuits, sweatshirts, t-shirts and ladies' gymwear online today at zandoli.co.uk and we'll give 35% to the St. Vincent and Grenadines Volcanic Fundraiser. Plus pre-order our new ranges and you'll get 10% off. Go online today at zandoli.co.uk.
Bienvenue yon, bienvenue tout. Et puis le programme Chaudière Show et puis DJ Naiji asso All Flavors Radio. Et c'est logué asso www.allflavorsradio.com pour écouter le programme Chaudière Show. Et puis en locadas, zouk, compas, musique mamay lakay, kulti naturel, quadrille et puis la comète, venez joindre moi tous les samedis à 8h pour 10h, dernier du temps. Et puis créole, sous content créole, nous tous contents. Sur la radio All Flavor.
All Flavors Radio is now looking for radio presenters. Email us at info@allflavorsradio.com.
Call us now on 07895 134 713. That's 07895 134 713.
Sounds of Rolls Royce. How you doing, Chrissy? DJ Laro. DJ Laro on from 8 until 10 tonight. Big stuff last night. DJ Slim, Mark Philogene. Shout out George Flavors. Joy McKay, how you doing, Mumra? Norbert from Castries. And Pele, how you doing? Send enough love to you, Shaz Dance. Along with Junior and the family, Michael and everybody. And big up Sonia from Berlin. DiCarlo. Gal Gal. As well as guess 685. And yeah, we're just in this kind of disco mood, you know. They made great songs back then, I must say. Showing out Tanya. Heather, how you doing, Heather? Doreen. And does anyone remember the soundtrack, what this music came from? High five, guest 683, guest 783, and guest R10E. Sending love and blessings to Ray Chanel, to John, to Black Lotus, Marjak, Anisha and family, to Joanne, Janae, Jayla, Tai Tai, to the WhatsApp crew, tuning crew, chat room, and all the listeners around the world. You're listening to All Flavas Radio on the 25th of May, and the time is rapidly coming. You know, I can't believe how quick this year is going. And wow, we are, you know, we've been here, it's week 43 for us on All Flavas Radio. And it's been wonderful. Yes. It's been wonderful, hasn't it, Lily?
It's been great. How many weeks are we from for a while?
Well, we're about 9 weeks away.
Amazing.
9 weeks, and that's quite scary that we're 9 weeks away from August.
Yeah.
Because at the moment it doesn't feel too much like anything like summer, like spring, like... Yeah. Does it? It's a bit strange out there.
I mean, this time last year, I'm sure there was heat and summer and sun.
Yeah, there was.
Because I remember sitting on the hill, you know, doing work on the hill in this beautiful blue skies. But, you know, yeah.
It is what it is. Yeah. It is what it is. And our breaking news today we is all about the tributes that are pouring out for this beautiful activist, Sasha Johnson. And it says the tributes are pouring on social media. There's people outside the hospital. It's a young lady, and she was shot in the head at a party.
Oh dear.
She is a member of the Taking the Initiative Party.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Wow, the Taking Initiative Party was established by a group of British business people, some from working class backgrounds, who felt like many others across the country, you know, that we had become politically homeless. So as a people, that we'd become politically homeless. So it is a black party, TTIP, Taking the Initiative Party. I think we've pertained to them a few times in our discussions. But through this lady, this Sasha Johnson, I sort of found out who this party is. And they founded the party, they said it's to create meaningful politics that will inspire people to get out and vote. Now, I don't know if you're a voter or what.
No.
You know, it's all one of the same things sometimes, I feel. But it says they want to put forward candidates for election who truly represent their community. So this young lady, Sasha Johnson, she was working she was an activist for this party.
Yeah.
And sadly she was shot. She was shot around 3 a.m. Can't remember what day it was. Over the start end, I think it was.
Okay.
So what I found was quite interesting was that they say that the guys that discharged the firearm, that they came in and shot fires, or they shot at the party.
Yeah.
And then there's other conflicting information there. So, you know, your thoughts on the point of her, obviously, they're saying it's not connected to her being with this party. She's an activist as well of the Black Lives Matter group. And just basically she's fighting for her life. All right, she's a mother of two, but she was out at 3 a.m. partying. And the rival gang, no one knows about that. But your thoughts, lady?
I mean, the fact that she was out, that might be in the first time she's been out in a long while. So we don't know if we can make a statement there. But I don't know. I don't really... It's another life that's been lost. Not lost. She's fighting for her life. But what's her quality of life going to be like now? I mean, people do things very... We live in a heartless world. Sometimes you look at this and you think, look at what we've spoken about earlier on with the children that are missing, and then you hear things like this, and it's just a never-ending vicious cycle.
When is it going to stop?
When is it going to... Yeah,
because it says there was a rival gang that may have heard about someone being at this particular party,
and she just was collateral damage.
She just happened to be there, and she's the one, that got shot. But it's got nothing to do with her activism. It's got nothing to do with what she does.
See, this is why I don't know why it was necessary to mention that in this statement.
What do you mean?
I don't know why that was necessary to mention it. Like, it could have just been mother of three, brutally shot down. You know, why did it have to be about politics? Would this have made the news? Would this have made the headlines if she wasn't an activist, if she wasn't involved with this political party?
Who knows? Because I know in Tottenham, probably about 15 years ago, there was a young lady sat in her car and she was gunned down. There was another young lady. Are they affiliated? I have no idea, but they're saying there's no affiliation. She was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And now she's obviously fighting for her life. And she says that it says that she's organised lots of Black Lives Matter, what do they call them? Marches and protests and so forth. Because the funny thing is although that this has happened, it's also on the anniversary of the George Floyd.
But this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why is it necessary to mention that all of those things? Yes, those things are important, but the main thing that's important here is the fact that a young woman is fighting for her life. Yeah. Not her activism, not the Black Lives Matter movement. Don't shoot me for saying that, but it's true. It's her life that is mattering right now, because she has been
gunned down.
She has been the collateral damage of gang rivalry.
Right. Or has she? Because no one really knows.
Exactly.
No
so
one really
the headline is the young woman fighting for her life after such and such events. It doesn't have anything to do with any activism. And I do think it's kind of like, you know how the media like to upsell. It's really bad to say it like that, but it's upselling. When you're trying to dress up something to be more than what it is, because it clearly has nothing to do with her activism, has nothing to do with George Floyd, it has nothing to do with Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah.
But because she has been involved in those things before, how can they pique the interest of us as black people to read this? Because most of the time this is online. No one buys paid newspaper anymore.
Yeah.
So most of the time it's going to be on an online forum.
Yeah.
What can push these people to read? Oh, yep, she's an activist. That will get us reading it. Do you know what I mean? It's just it's so sad that they have to use these methods to get people like us to read the story and support the family. And, you know,
is it a method though?
I feel like it is. I don't feel like this would have made papers if she wasn't an activist.
Really?
Yeah.
So is it something that's going on constantly and continually?
It is. It's going on all the time. How we had many years ago, but we had a shooting happen very close to where we live. That not Mark Duggan. I'm talking about the family.
Oh, the lady.
Couple.
Yes.
That wasn't in the papers.
Yeah.
If she was an activist, it might have been. Do you see what I mean? It's just it's.
So do you think we have enough sort of media outlets? Again, FUBU, for us and by us, because I mean I do sometimes tap into the Voice to see what's going on, but there's a lot of old things there.
Yeah,
it's not like it's updated. There's lots of stuff to do with business and so forth, but I didn't get this article from the Voice. It was just one that kind of came up. I don't even think the link is in there, but it's not. You know, do we need more journalists? Do we need more of our people going out there and actively reporting in our behalf?
I think we need more journalists actively reporting on things that, do directly affect us. I think, I'm not going to talk about politics because I have no opinion on politics.
Yeah.
But I think, like you're saying, there's, in the Voice, they have things to do with business, they have things to do with...
opinion, entertainment,
things like that. We do need more people like us writing those articles, because like we spoke a couple of weeks ago about the article that spoke about Luther not being black enough. Was that written by a black person?
It was an Indian man that wrote that.
Or so no.
Do
you know what I mean? And then look at the article that came on the backhand of that. It just made absolutely no sense. So when someone doesn't understand, and I know we share many similarities to people of other ethnic diasporas, but I feel like if we really want to hear our voice, because they hear their voices, if we really want to hear our voice and honestly hear our voice, then it needs to come from people like us. And I think as well, we do kind of make ourselves, we are our own worst enemy, in the sense that we push all of, we push the racists, we push the sexists, we push the people that are against us, but then we add fuel to the fire. Like I was telling you about something earlier, where they had completely created a situation of hate, and the origin of that situation had not even,
it was something that
hadn't even put the wood down. Do you know what I mean? They had made it up, and we had fueled the fire. We hadn't done our research, because we do say in this show that everything that we do bring to the table, loads of research into it. It's not just bringing something off the backhand of what someone sent you. But how many people do go back and actually do the research? A journalist can't just put a story out without referencing it.
And you've got to dig like that. And this is what I'm saying. Would you think out there, beautiful people, do you feel that it's necessary to have more journalism, to have more insight into the things that are going on within our community? Because there is actually a lot going on. We have a wonderful guest coming on in the next couple of weeks, Jay Ricky, and he's he's really in tune to what is going on within the community, and we'll be discussing some of those things. I mean, he sent me some stuff over today, and that was the one that I was highlighting about, again, the missing person. There's another one, the Oluwadi Malere, I can't even mention his name, another young boy.
Yeah.
But also, you know, a reminder of the hidden truth and the investigator. Women Self-Made. There's the Simply Together show, the African Liberation Day.
Yeah.
There's so much going on, and he really is in tune. And I was trying to look for the one pertaining to the missing persons Zoom meeting that's coming up, and I will definitely let you know what that's all about, because it's very important. So
I mean, I do think it's important to be updated and informed about what is happening that's negatively impacting us. But I also think it's extremely important for us to be receiving things that are uplifting us.
Yes.
So that, like you mentioned just now, there's he goes into things about empowerment and things like that. It is about lifting each other up. We're always ready to... We read the negative so often, and we see the negative so often, that our vibrations and our energy is just always going to be off, because we're always around that negative energy.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to do with our people and people that are like us, we need something to lift us out of that energy, out of that negativity. And as much as journalism has been created to look at majority negative stories, there has to be, you know, there has to be a positive side to it.
I mean, there's lots of positives. You know, equality for black nurses is one here that they've sent over.
Yeah.
And this is what it is, beautiful people. It's a missing black people volunteer induction, and it's Dominic O'Norton Limited that is putting this on. Now, that's happening on Sunday the 30th of May 2021. And for more information, please contact www.missingblackpeople.com/events. So that's www.missingblackpeople.com/events. And that's something that's happening at this start end. So that's something maybe worthwhile in getting into. And you're right, so right, Lily, about our media and kind of what we're tapping into and how we can best kind of, we got to dig deep. We've got to dig deep. And for me in this situation was just the point that, yes, she's an activist, and they was out at a party, they're out in the garden, it's around 3 a.m. Like for me, I'm like, I've got 2 kids at home, that's the kind of thing that I'm thinking about. Not everybody, you. That's me, not everyone is in that frame of mind, and different events that might follow, whatever. And
sadly, her partner could have been at home with the children.
Sadly, she's in a really bad situation here. Let's just hope that she survives through this. And again, this whole gang culture, because that's what's being pushed as well, this gang culture. And how do we get around this? This is something that has been sort of plaguing our community for a long, long time. This whole gang culture. And maybe some of the children that are going missing are being initiated into these situations. We don't know. We haven't got a clue. But there's another thing as well. I've said this before. It's not about the talking. It's about the action and what can we get out of these things in order to move forwards and make a difference. Because a lot of our children aren't in a gang culture.
No.
Again, it's a minority.
It
is a minority, but in this situation, that's what they're highlighting. So we've got to highlight it, to be aware of it, but then also knowing where our youngsters are.
And this is why I love this platform that George FLAVAS has put out there, because there are not many... I'm not saying there are none, but there are not many platforms where people can come have conversation. We've got the chat line, we've got the chat where we can drop information in there, and not everybody knows about events that are happening. I mean, I don't watch the news, so for me, as a listener, are there things that we may be bringing up that isn't highlighted on the news, or it may have been highlighted on the news, but I missed it because I'm not that person that sits down and watches Channel 4 news every day at 6 o'clock. So it is so great that we have these platforms and we are aware of the situations that are happening within our community, and we are aware of the different organisations, because we've mentioned quite a few over the last 43 weeks. Yeah. We've mentioned many organisations that do support our youngsters, and it's true, they are the minority that get trapped in that vicious cycle that is gang culture. But there are reasons why, a lot of the time, there are reasons why they get trapped in this gang culture. And if we as elders, parents, uncles, aunties, cousins are aware of the reasons why, can we be that person that then supports our family member or someone that we know to not be entrapped by these predators, because that's what they are. They're predators who unfortunately were sniped when they were younger. Maybe. And it is a vicious cycle. They weren't always like that. Someone introduced them into the life and then they became who they are. So I know we look at these people with sometimes, with such it's distasteful, it's like a horrible taste in your mouth, but we have to understand that they have come from similar positions to these youngsters, and there has to be that cut-off point, and we may be the voice that's helps that cut-off happen.
The thing is as well, we only touch on very minute topics. We're just scraping the surface. We're not even really going in the depth of what is out there, all the things that are happening. So thank you everybody for sharing content, asking questions and making us aware of other things as well. Thank you listeners for asking questions. Thank you for helping us to go in and maybe research certain things as well. But we'll be here for hours speaking with all the content that's out there. So really, again, like we say always, it's tapping into what's going on, researching what's going on and seeing how we can help make that difference. So we're going to go into our question shortly, but we'll see y'all in 5 and we will be touching the subject on Lily's been dying to speak about this, on what would you do if your youngster was asked on a play date by a female, and what would your situation be? We'll see y'all in 5. Shout out the chat room crew, tuning crew and WhatsApp crew and the worldwide crew. How are you all doing out there on this lovely, nice and mellow 25th of May evening 2021? And that was the sounds of Zap. Pure love. They broke records with that, the technology of that side thing in the mouth singing, and it was amazing time to be living. It was a happy time. The sun was always shining, and it didn't be seen as troublesome as it is now, but it was just a different time, a whole different time. Shouting out to DJ Caddy and John J.E. as well. You can catch Caddy on Thursday evening, as well as John J.E. on Sunday in the morning, and DJ Ninja Man Lloyd. You can catch DJ Ninja Man Lloyd on a Thursday and a Sunday too. So Lily, our question. I know you've been quite heated about it. So a female approaches you to have a play date with her child. What do you do if you're a married person, or if you're in a relationship, or vice versa, man? Not that you see much men taking their children on to the park. I guess you do. Yeah. But, in this instance, it was a woman that highlighted this. And I'm just going to read the caption. So this is Amani King. And she says, "My daughter made a new friend at the playground. I asked the dad if we can plan a play date. He's like, okay, I'll give your number to my wife and you can ask her." I don't know what LDK means. LDK, is that the girl?
She said, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. So it's IDK. Sorry, IDK. IDK, I don't know. Why that was weird to me. Aren't you her parent too? men who have to ask their wives first bug me. So, your thoughts, Lily? I know you've been dying to speak about this one.
Okay. I don't want to be that person that says she clearly doesn't have a partner, but she don't have a partner.
How do you know that?
Because or maybe she just does what she wants when she wants to do it and doesn't care about her partner's opinion. Because I would feel extremely uncomfortable knowing that, one, my husband and this woman are buddy taking the children on play dates. No.
Maybe she wanted a play date.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. Oh, yeah. Our kids are friends now. Well, we should organise a play date. Is that a ruse for something else? And why are you getting salty that he said he's going to ask me to bring ask the mum to bring the child?
I think he done the right thing, personally.
Of course he did.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with...
I'm going to confirm with my wife. One, he's telling you, I have a wife.
Yeah.
And secondly, he's saying... It's not just my opinion that matters here.
Yeah.
Because she may not feel comfortable with me bringing our child to have a play date with you. So let me see what she says. And if she wants to bring the child, she'll bring the child. And then you will know. She'll be like, oh, I don't want you to bring the child. Why don't you come? Then why is it an issue? It's about our children, though, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
It's about our children.
So it's her daughter made a new friend. And I asked the dad if we can... plan a play date. I mean, that whole sentence...
If we can plan a play date... It sounds wrong, doesn't it?
But then,
doesn't it just? No.
I think he done the right thing by saying, I'll give your number to my wife and you can ask her, because he might have just been out with the little one for that time. Maybe he's working, who knows? He was just possibly there and couldn't make a play date. And it doesn't make sense of him going anyway and taking the little one, depending again on the primary caregiver of the youngster. But... yeah, I'd have done the same, handed the number to the wife, I think that, or the partner, and said, that's what I think is the right thing to do.
And he did well by saying as well, I'll give you my wife's number, because he could have done that. He could have said, I'll give you my wife's number and you contact her. Because if she did have bad intentions as well, she could have texted the wife and been like, oh, your man said blah, 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 and could have caused contention. Because we know women, and as much as being a female, you would think, oh, no, I would never do that. Women are snaky. Like, they don't, especially this new generation of lady, they seem to be... They're different.
Have an ulterior motive sometimes.
Yeah, they're different.
But, I mean, it does make the point there that her daughter made new friend. That's fair enough, that the daughter made new friends, but the way that tradition puts it, I guess that it would be the women that organise the play dates with the youngsters.
It would be, just because that makes more sense. And I think as well, organising a play date, for me, I'm quite bad at organising play dates just because of the way I am.
Antisocial.
I'm not antisocial.
I'm the same.
I just...
terrible.
It's a bit much for me sometimes.
Yeah. I just don't like noise.
But I may have been that mother that would have said, oh, they're getting on really well together. Hopefully you're in the park next time and they can play together again.
Yeah.
Because we can't just become quick friends like that. I know children get on like that quickly, but next week she's not going to remember that child.
It gets a bit more complicated with when the adults start mixing, right? And it's out of... I mean, there's nothing in it. There could be just absolutely nothing in it. But it's just her point when she says that she what did she say?
Men that have to ask their women for permission.
They bug me, yeah. And it's not the fact that she's asking for permission. Yeah, it's the fact that he has respect for his spouse or his partner, that he wants to bring her into the situation and saying, darling, listen, I met this lady at the park, and she says, Jane got on really well with Tommy over there. Yeah. And she wants to organise a play date.
And to me, that shows a man that has a lot of respect for his woman, because he's not only felt no way about going and being like, oh, I spoke to some woman in the park, because some women can feel really, what's that word? Oh, insecure. Some women can feel really insecure about the fact that you were sitting next to another woman in the park and talking to her. It's the fact that he knew that I need to make you feel comfortable, knowing that I'm being open with you and saying, oh yes, she struck up a conversation and she wants to organise a play date.
Yeah.
And play dates can be very intimate things. That means, are we going to someone's house? Are we going to, you know, play zone where I've got to spend money? Like, there's a lot of things that come into that one.
It's a lot of organisation. Takes a lot to organise a play date.
And he might just be like, nah, I don't want to organise no play date. I ain't got time for that. My wife will do that. She knows how to do these things.
Yeah, she's better at that.
She's better at that kind of stuff than I just take them to the park.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's the fact that the woman that says this, or the girl that says this, I say girl because there's a sense of maturity that I think that comes along with this as well. And the fact that she can't understand
why he's got to ask his wife.
But he's not asking his wife. He didn't say, I'm going to ask my wife. No. He said, I will give you my wife's phone number. It wasn't a conversation or an option.
Yeah.
He was saying, I'll give you my wife's phone number. We don't need to continue conversing.
Yeah.
And he's shutting it down before you can take my ha-has any other way. Do you know what I mean? And the fact that she couldn't understand that, I don't see her as someone that.
It's like you said, it's that level of maturity, and understanding that it's not the fact that he's asking his wife first.
Yeah, he didn't.
It shouldn't bug you. You should say, okay, that's cool, but why would it bug you that he's got to? He's not asking his wife. He just said, "I'll pass the number on, and you can organise it."
He shut her down.
Yeah.
And I think that's why she doesn't understand. She's like, how are you going to shut me down? Which makes me think it's about her. It's not about the child.
She didn't say that. Her. She didn't say about him shutting her down or anything like that.
No, but it's the fact that she's equated him saying, I'll pass your number on to my wife as him asking permission. Because he's not saying to you, I'll ask my wife if we can arrange this, which is in other words saying, I'll ask my wife if we can meet up. He's saying, my wife is the person you need to talk to about organising a play date.
Yes.
He's not asking your permission to meet up with you, which is him shutting her down.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Yeah, and it you know, what's the line? Where's the boundaries? What are, you know, where do you cross the line?
Yeah.
And it's not crossing the line in any sense, way, shape or form, but like you said earlier, that women can have ulterior motives.
Yeah.
And I think he was quite valiant, is the right word to say, that he would include his wife in the whole situation, because possibly she was out doing something and he decided to take her to the park, and it's not his normal routine of doing things.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be on that day that happened, and this whole other scenario kind of come out of it. So, you know.
Do you know what he reminds me of? And I'm sure we've spoken about this on the show before. I see him being that husband that, you know, you're walking down the street with your husband, blah, blah, and he bumps into a female that he knows.
Yeah.
And he will be that person that says, oh, hi, how you doing? Yeah, this is Jade, my wife. As opposed to that husband that continues the conversation and no one gets introduced to the wife, which I think is rude. He seems to me to be that husband that will be, oh yeah, hey, how you doing? It's good to see you. Yeah, this is my wife, such and such. He seems to be that kind of upfront, open.
It's all about inclusion.
Yes, inclusion. That's the word. That is
and
the
it's
word.
Inclusive of his including his wife in the whole scenario. So there's nothing
considerate of her feelings.
Nothing wrong with that. And that's right, because if I knew that my husband, when you guys were younger, had gone and arranged a play date with another woman, I don't think I would have been very happy about it. I don't think I would have been happy about it.
The thing is, no, I can't think of it. I can't think about it because I just don't understand. I don't understand how that works. Because then it also, for me, it's like you've organised a play date. Oh, it's fine, you get a day off. I know this, but now I'm like, but why are you and her going on a play date? That doesn't make sense. It
is about being inclusive, but then it's not about being insecure as well, because we know what people can be like.
But I think that encourages insecurity.
What, by them going out on their own and doing it? Or?
Yeah, I feel like that encourages insecurity, because then as the wife, you're then left to think like, say he does go out on the play date, and he could do one of two things. One, he doesn't tell you about it. One of three things. One, he doesn't tell you about it and just goes, oh, I'm taking such and such to Fun Zone or whatever. Two, he tells you about it last minute. Or three, he's that person. So I met this woman in the park. She wants to organise a play date. So I said, oh yeah, let's take James on the 3rd of August.
But then if he doesn't tell his partner,
it's shady.
Is there anything wrong with it?
What,
really?
You're going to meet up with another woman and you haven't told me? Yes.
With the children?
Yes, there's something wrong with that. Because
one, I don't know. The other woman could be married.
I don't care. One, I don't know where you are.
Or be with someone, yeah.
So that's already, I don't know where you're going. Two, I don't know. I mean, I sound really possessive here. Two, you're taking the children out and I don't know where my children are going to be. In that instance, I'm possessive. I need to know where my children are at all times. But why are you not telling me? I think it's shady.
It's just how people look at things.
And the thing is as well, this is one thing that people fail to realise. Children will tell me.
Yeah.
Oh, mummy, we went to meet daddy's friend. That's what they're going to say.
And that will make it even worse, isn't it? Yeah.
They're not coming to say, oh, I went on a play date with James. They're coming back to say, oh, we went to meet daddy's friend and her child.
And then that's just going to open up a whole case. Yeah, it's better to be transparent. It is better.
He did the right
thing. In relationships, to be transparent. I mean, do you tell your partner everything? We've had this discussion, but it is good to be open and honest, because then it doesn't create any friction down the line.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that he done the right thing, not going and saying, all right, yeah, what day would you like to meet? No, I'll give you my number to your wife. You can organise it. And because it's the children that made friends, not him and the woman.
Not me and you.
And that's where he drew the line. It's not him and the woman that made friends, and the children can go. It's got nothing to do with the parents, but it's got everything to do about the children.
Yep.
Yes, I agree. So what does Grant Cardone say as regards the 10X rule?
I can't even remember where we are.
Yes.
So,
listeners, how are you doing out there? You still there with us?
What number are we on?
We are on number 14? Yes, number 14. Number 14. This is the 10X rule.
No, I don't. I think we're on number 15, you know.
Okay.
We did that one last week. Focus on now.
Okay. Focus on now, the here and now.
There exists only two times for the successful now and the future. The unsuccessful spend most of their time in the past and regard the future as an opportunity to procrastinate. Now is the period of time that successful people utilize most often to create the futures they desire in order to dominate their environments. You cannot do what unsuccessful people do, which is use any excuse they can think of to put off the task that they should be completing immediately.
So don't put things off.
Instead, you must acquire discipline. Do it now.
I totally agree with that.
It's funny because I posted something yesterday, I think it was yesterday, that spoke about the only reason you should be looking back is to see where you've been, where you don't want to go back to, so you can plan for the future.
Yeah, I had supervision yesterday because I've been working with a group of ladies, lovely group, and the project will be finished soon. And it's all about endings and closures. And what she highlighted, I thought was such a great idea, was, and we can do this in everyday life as well as when we keep journals, that we write down what we expect to, or what we're grateful for, but also our plans and goals for the future.
Yeah.
And she said to write a letter to yourself and you open it in 6 months' time and see how far you've come. Because something as well, you spoke earlier, Leash, about not blowing a trumpet, but self-promotion.
Yeah.
Might as well call it self-promotion, and that we don't do enough of it. And as well as that is writing down our goals and looking back and looking at our achievements.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, we go on, we achieve something, okay, we've achieved that, and we move on to the next thing. Yeah. But what's really great is when we acknowledge our achievements and we celebrate those achievements, and then we move on. So writing that letter to ourselves in 6 months to say, right, whatever it is you want to accomplish, whatever it is that you want to achieve, whatever it is that you want to get away from, whatever the goal is, whatever the task is, 6 months down the line to see how far along you've come.
Yeah.
But in what Grant Cardone says there, the now is the time.
Yeah.
Now is the time, always. Now, this moment.
Now
is always the time.
It's like those moments, and this has happened to me quite often the last couple of months, where you wake up in the middle of the night because you have an idea now.
Yeah.
That idea you have now needs to get on paper.
Yeah.
And I know it might sound like, why would you get up in the middle of the night to write things down? But that idea, that thought, that dream that you had in that moment could be the catalyst for you being successful in whatever it is you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Whether it's you know, spirituality, financially, in your relationship. Oh yeah, maybe I could do this, that might improve this. In that moment, that is when you need to be making that note and working on what you're going to do next.
And you know that they say, he's saying that, I saw something this week about being spiritually enlightened.
Yeah.
And most people that are spiritually enlightened wake up during those times, like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. It's called witching hour, the witching hour. Check it, look it up. And yeah, I have books beside my bed and a pen. Some day I've looked in one and it's got a scribble in it because I'm trying to write and I'm no, you got to sit up and really embrace that moment and write it and then go back to sleep.
Yeah.
So if you see the scribble, it's like I did write something down. It made absolutely no sense. So you've got to be within that moment as well.
Yeah, but it does affect your sleep if you don't. Do you feel that? I feel like if I've got an idea, or if I've got something on my mind, I can't sleep. And I have to physically put it on paper.
Yeah. So having a journal by your bed, I have a dream journal as well as just a book and my gratitude journal that I have. So my gratitude journal kind of follows me around. I was up on the hill yesterday training. I go in, write down the gratitudes and my I ams and the future goals, focusing forward. But the here and the now is definitely important.
Yeah.
But those other books, have them beside your bed, listeners. And when you do get in those moments, you write it down.
Yeah.
Always have a pen handy or a pencil, whatever, so you can be in that moment, because that's what it's all about, making progress, right?
Yeah, definitely. It was one thing as well that I learned when I had CBT is the fact that we hold a lot of issues inside.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about journaling, and a lot of people write diaries for this reason, because keeping it inside, it's like a parasite. It just makes you feel ill. But once you get it out, it's almost like a release. So even if it has nothing to do with, actioning something for the future, and it's just that release that you just have to get something off your chest. You may not have someone physically there to talk to, but you're talking to your journal, you can get it out. So I think it's really important.
That's why crying is good. I mean, I don't cry so much. So there was a time I used to cry all the time, man. Oh my goodness, cry. Not anymore. But it's a release. Yeah. It's the release of it all. Yeah. And, a lot of us are walking around, our shoulders are hurting, our bodies are scrunched up, and we're just tight. Yeah. But it's about letting go and just feeling the flow, and just letting it all go.
Yeah. Especially in this time period that we just had to go through.
It's tough. It was a tough time. Yeah. But we got through it. If we're here and we're able to speak to someone else and we're talking, guys, you are survivors, man. Yes, winners. Definitely. Hands down. So give yourselves a pat on the back for making it through.
Yes.
So we've come to the end of the show. Thank you so much for your company. And, give yourselves a pat on the back. Thank you for always supporting us, Naturally Lily and myself. on the Drive Time, Let's Talk Drive Time show. Shouting out to all the chat room crew, shouting out to all the tune-in listeners, shouting out to the worldwide listeners, and also shouting out to all the DJs doing an amazing job on All Flavas Radio. Do check the schedule, and remember that we do have a Facebook group that you are very welcome to join. You can catch me at Wimbo77 or onethingabouthistory.com. That onethingabouthistory.com is my writing website. I do actually have an ebook course coming up very soon, June the 19th. So if you are a budding writer out there and want to learn how to create an ebook, please do feel free to go to my news and events page, and my ebook course is there. And you, Naturally Lily, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram, naturally Lily Lily89 is my hashtag.
Yeah,
that's
and
where I am.
T-Volution are Lily's clothing brand. We were meant to speak about clothing today. We'll talk about it another time. But thank you so much for listening. Following me, will be DJ Laro from 8 till 10. And I guess all we have left to say, beautiful people, listeners, worldwide listeners, everyone, is that we will see y'all on the other side. Take care now.
Bye.